Mervyn, I'm so excited to be here. Can you imagine, we arranged this meeting, 5 months ago?
Yeah, probably.
Time flies, doesn't it? And we're already here. Mm-hmm. The irony is not lost on me because I'm coming here to choose a greenhouse and to slow time down. I just want to spend time in the greenhouse, and I just want to explore, and just really own my skills as a gardener.
Yeah.
That's the missing piece of the jigsaw for me.
How would you describe yourself as a gardener at this point in time?
I'm very green.
Yeah,
I've only started gardening in lockdown, and I really fell for it, fell completely in love with it. I love being in a garden, having my hands dirty, going to the garden center, planting stuff. But I want to get into propagation. I want to actually grow my own plants. I want to do edibles as well as plants. I want to explore. There's so much to learn, and this is why I've come here, really.
Does growing for food appeal to you, or are you more into exotic plants, or what's your direction?
I think I'm about 50-50 between plants and with edible. Uh-huh. And I think this is how I'm going to divide the greenhouse. But talking about the greenhouse, and really I think everything come to life here, as I came here, because obviously I knew that, but what struck me is the craftsmanship and the attention to detail. As soon as I walked in the greenhouse today, I knew that was it.
Yeah.
This is class. This is the feeling I wanted to have, in my greenhouse. And as soon as I walked in and you opened the door and we were under the porch, the porch is the best thing for me about the greenhouse. Because you feel that sense of luxury, the elegance, the style. It's not just a greenhouse or any greenhouse. For me, this is the Rolls-Royce of greenhouses. Uh-huh. And I want to garden, but I want to do it in style.
Yeah, yeah.
My house is very nice, and I want to have a greenhouse that matches the house.
Yeah.
I can't have something that looks like a foursome next to my house.
Yeah. And it's very evident too that from the space that you've got, and we've talked about this, we've got planning permission to get and so on, but it's important for you that you've got the greenhouse there, that it kind of fits within your environment. And you've been very strong on developing the outside of your garden, which already looks great, but you're intending to do a lot of things around the garden. How's that going to interact with what's your idea of that space?
Well, you see, this is why I was really interested to speak to you, because I want a bespoke greenhouse and I want to make sure it fits in a particular part of my garden, because this is an unused part, something I don't go to, that is just there and it's staying there. I'm not using it. It's a wasted space. Mm-hmm. And I need it to be of a reasonable size, but not too big, because I don't want it to encroach on the part of the garden where I want to cultivate things.
Yeah.
So right in front of the greenhouse, what I want to do is I want to create a mini orchard. And I've selected these beautiful apples. I've got James Grief, Discovery, and the, what do you call the apple of Bath? There's a third one. It's called the Bay of Bath or something, apple of Bath. Anyway, this is the third variety of apple that I like. And actually these apples, I discovered them in Mount Congreve in Ireland.
Really?
Yes. And this is Ray, the gardener, suggested them to me, and I tried them, and they're the best apples.
Really?
Yes.
These are not something you would get in the supermarket.
No.
Definitely not.
When you grow your own vegetables and you grow your own fruits, it's a different quality.
It is, yeah.
Wow, this is class. This is exactly what I was looking for. I can really imagine myself in my own garden, in my greenhouse. Wow. I love the detail, and I love the fleur de lis. Very nice. Yeah. Very, very nice. And the porch. I want a porch. Can we do that as a spec?
Sure.
Yeah. This is really good.
I know you're into cooking, obviously, but is that something that you feel passionate about, is actually growing stuff to cook with?
Yeah, definitely. But it's not just cooking. It's not just the gardening. It's got to become an integral part of my life because of the way it is built, the style, where it will be built, and how it will be incorporated in my everyday life. And basically when I'm going to be in the center of the garden, because of the greenhouse, because of the plants that I have there, I'm going to be like in my own little world, which I want to create. Yeah. And the greenhouse is an integral part of that, because look, I obviously have to learn, the tricks of the trade and know how to do it, because I don't know how to do anything really. But once I know how to do it, I can go into the woods, I can go into garden centers, I can get plants, I can propagate them, I can plant them, and I can say I've done everything from A to Z.
Yes, exactly.
And for me, I just want to get lost in my greenhouse, in the moment, and just enjoying the moment really.
You said that you were keen on having a central bench to it. That's not something I was thinking about before you mentioned it. But what's the reason for that? What are you thinking about? How do you see that space being used?
Well, again, I've visited a lot of gardens and a lot of stately homes with gardens, in wall gardens, and all these people have greenhouses, and I've seen many greenhouses with a central table. I mean, mainly people are working on them. Basically, they've got plants and they're growing stuff there, which I liked. But there is another option. That is, I could put chairs around, because the greenhouse is big enough. The flooring is beautiful, with the plants all around, and I can organize dinner parties there.
Yes.
I've got a barbecue next door.
Yeah.
I can go and grill whatever, and then serve it in the greenhouse amongst the plants, and
Exactly.
what setting.
Yeah. Even lit up in the evening would be really nice.
Yeah, I mean, for me, you know what? It's really a case of grow it, cook it, eat it. In the very same place. Isn't it exciting?
Yeah, very much.
I can see it. I can picture it. And maybe you'll be my first guest.
That's right.
Well, you ought to be.
I think so.
You ought to be, really.
Fred, this is an orchid shelf for displaying plants. Would this type of shelving work for you?
It definitely would. The other thing, Mervyn, I was thinking about is having a central table, so I could work and garden right here in the central of the greenhouse.
Okay. But you could entertain there as well.
I did not think of that. Dual use, entertaining and gardening.
Perfect.
Oh, wow.
Right up your street.
Yeah, it is. And it's such an elegant space, I mean, it would work. Definitely would.
Fantastic.
And if you did a bit of parsley, just go like that and put it on your chicken.
Perfect.
But tell me, when did you start building greenhouses?
The greenhouses for us, what we're doing now is relatively recent. We've been doing this business for 45 years. But we've developed this range of greenhouses probably in the last 3 years. We really launched this summer, and it's new to us. But my goodness, have we spent some time in developing the detail and the whole how a greenhouse works? Because one of the big features that we have is obviously it's a timber greenhouse, but the timber we use is a hardwood grown in Africa. It's called frackie. It then goes through a process of heat treatment, and that means that the soft cell in the wood gets taken out with the heat. It goes up, and that means that there's no food in the timber, which means it has a permanent life expectancy. It's a class 1 hardwood. So, and then the paint system that we use is a 2-pack paint system. It's super tough. So those key things are very important in how a greenhouse should be. Greenhouses are traditionally timber. So you want to keep surfaces dry. It's water that causes the problem. But on the roof, the condensation comes down, it goes out into the gutter, straight out into the gutter. Condensation it forms on the glass on the sides. It goes down the glass, and the glass sits out maybe 2 millimeters from the rebate. The condensation runs down and runs out. Every surface in it is beveled, so there's no standing water. So it's really designed externally. The slips or the beads on the outside of the window are beveled, but they're aluminium powder coated, and they're clipped on to clips that hold the glass out, and that leaves you that putty detail, traditional putty detail. So we've designed into these buildings everything that a modern greenhouse should have, but then you've got all the Victorian detailing and charm that a greenhouse should have. And if you look at any aluminium greenhouse, what they always try to do in aluminium greenhouse is make it look like a timber greenhouse. That's what they do.
But of course, you've got 35 years of experience building conservatories. So did it
45.
help you to 45?
Yes.
Did it help you
Absolutely
to gain the experience to be able to create this
to do this
work of art?
To do this without the experience that we've had would be very much an uphill struggle, because all our extrusions, all the aluminium extrusions, everything that we have put down dies for, it's all been purposely designed just for this building.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what excites me as well? Because obviously
Mhm.
I'm French, right?
Mhm.
And gardening is, I mean, my parents garden, they've got beautiful roses, but the French don't garden to the level of the British.
Really?
And I don't know anybody in my neck of the woods in France that has a greenhouse, let alone a greenhouse like this. So when my parents come to see me next year, when the greenhouse be built, I can't wait to see their faces when this, because it looks like a house. This is a traditional, this is a Victorian greenhouse. It
Yes.
really has a lot of class.
It does. Classical detail, Victorian detail.
You know, I was very impressed when you took me on a tour of your factory because everything is so precise. The attention to detail, the craftsmanship, the professionalism. You know, I mean, there's even tours. Like people come from other factories from all over the country to come in and see what you do to learn, you know, your lean system and your continuous improvement. I mean, how did you come up with
Yeah.
something like that? Did you do that?
Companies come from all over the world, and you know, it's something that the lean community is a very caring, sharing environment to be part of.
Yeah, but the people who came today, it was like they were tourists in their own country,
Yes.
but they're actually tourists to learn how to work better, and they want to
that's
learn
a-
from you.
I think that's a good way to put it. I think it's like commercial tourism
It is.
almost. Yes. So basically, there's a place for everything, and everything is in its place. So, tools at stations, everybody should be able to turn around and pick up what they need, right up where they are. You know, you should never have to walk off and look for a drill or look for something. You know, because you need what you need. But the key thing is, Fred, everything you don't need shouldn't be there.
Look at that. They are so good here. They even do tours, and other companies can come here and learn from Hampton. Wow. This is so impressive. Quality is everything you see, touch, and feel. And here, craftsmanship, attention to detail, and professionalism is everywhere. Look at this. Come here, look at that. Everything has its place. Wow. You obviously do it, you understand it, you breathe it, this is you. But then it's about sharing that culture, making sure every single person who works here follows the same ethos.
Yes.
And you know, being in the greenhouse this morning, I look at the greenhouse, I think, wow, this feature, I like this, I like that, and then you go in the factory and you think, no wonder why it's so beautiful, because the attention to detail and it's the desire to do the job well, isn't it?
It is. It's very much so. And I think that everybody here, there is a care and appreciation for what to do for the customer, and they want to do something with pride. I mean, we have built orangeries and had conservatories around the world. And you know, some of the places that we have been, you know, our fitters leave and go and stay there. And all sorts of really interesting places. And that's something we've always done. For example, we would have in, let's say, hotel. There's a hotel in Norway. The guys, when they left to build that orangery, they had 3 flights and 2 ferries just to get to the job. It took like a day and a bit just to get to where the job is, and up north of Norway. And we would have jobs. We did a job on the Goring Hotel in London, and the glass in it, we had to lift the glass from the street. These are panes of glass, you know, 4.5 meters long, and lift them up 7 floors in a crane out over the roof of the Goring and drop them down into. These are maybe a quarter of a ton per pane of glass. You know, it's a two-story conservatory that's there. And we did Harvard University, you know, and I remember we engineered that. It's on the faculty club at the university. But when we engineered it to British and European standards.
I'm so excited because I'm going to get a greenhouse by the man who goes and do a conservatory at the Goring, at Harvard University. You know, for me, it makes me feel like I am part of this club, you know, who has a greenhouse from, you know, the very, very best. And that's really exciting because it's not just a story. Obviously, people are going to see it. They're going to see how beautiful the greenhouse is and all the stuff I'm growing in it. But it's the story that I can tell people who come. You know, it's not just any greenhouse. I can just talk for an hour before I'm just going to, I open the door and say, voila, you know, look at this.
That is true. And I think that job, we did it a while back, but on that job, we engineered it here, let's say, to European standards. And whenever they engineered it, they had to engineer again because they're looking codes in Boston, and it's for earthquake. There's 30 ton of steel in the orangery on that job, and then we manufactured that was fabricated here in Coleraine, and shipped across to the States along with the job. And we did an interesting job and on the Thames onto the bread basket, I think it is, and that's a restaurant for Gordon Ramsay, and it's right down on the Thames, probably about 1.5 meters off the edge of the Thames where the building is. You're always designing a building that complements the architecture of the property that's going on to, and that's the key thing that we do. Colour.
I like that one. Yeah.
My choice.
It really is going to add value to my property. So it's not just I'm adding a greenhouse, I'm adding value to the property.
Exactly.
But also I'm adding a lot of pleasure and satisfaction for me, because when I'm going to stand, this is what I want to do. I want to stand in the middle of my garden, and everywhere I look, I see beauty.
Yes.
This is what I want to see. So it's either going to be the plants, that are going to grow, and then I look at the greenhouse there, and it just fits. Right, I've got my little orchard there, and it's just going to be very beautiful. And then I can work and I can improve it every single day, every single year.
Yeah. Tell me, it's just something I'm interested in, but do you think that people buy, get a greenhouse like our greenhouses? Are they thinking about a statement piece in the garden? Are they thinking about gardening? Are they thinking about the lifestyle that they might have a different lifestyle because they've got this greenhouse in their garden? What is there? I think there's various triggers there.
It's a good question, and I've been thinking about it actually. Why do I want a greenhouse? Why do I want this one? How does it fit in with my lifestyle, with what I want to do? And for me, beauty is very important. I don't want to just build something that I'm going to look at and it's going to, I can't look at it. And it needs to be pleasant. We are only here a very short time on this earth.
Yes.
So whatever I see, whatever I touch or feel, it needs to be quality.
Yes.
So that is fundamental for me. But the main reason, and the reason why I want it, is because I really want to immerse myself in the greenhouse, in propagating, in growing stuff, in just losing myself in a different world where I can just let go. I don't think about television or books or whatever things I do. I just want to just be in my own space and just forget about the world. Mm-hmm. But I do it in style. I do it in an elegant setting. I do it in a place where I go in and I feel good about myself and the world.
Yes.
That excites me.
That's very important. That's very important, because I feel that if you're in a space, first of all, when you look at something, I always kind of have a 2-second rule. I look at something and it feels right instantly. You don't have to think, maybe if. That's instant. That's like so important.
Restaurants, right? There is something that I call the first line of defense with restaurants. Any business, any customer-facing business, the first line of defense, the line of defense mustn't be broken. If the line is broken in military terms, the enemy will come and they will overpower you, and you're finished.
Yes.
And the line of defense is the things that you cannot afford to get wrong.
Yes.
Like when I come here, for example, everything, the car park is clean, you know where to park, everything is, this conservatory here, for example, is very well built. There is no smudge on the glass, everything is tidy and in order. And this is what I want to create in my garden. This is just the same principle. And I think that, as human beings, we're all the same. If you see something negative, you will look for something else that's negative, and so on and so forth.
That's so true.
But the other thing, if you get a greenhouse that's not quality, that starts to get rusty, where the glass is not built properly, it's going to break, then it's just going to slowly fall apart.
Yes.
And it's going to take a chunk of you every single time. And it's going to make you feel like you're really not you're not quality, because you started wrong, and you're just going to end up even more wrong than the way you started. So I think that for me, the greenhouse has to be beautiful when it's built, and it has to evolve and get all gracefully, like we are.
Yes.
Like good old wine.
That's right.
You don't want it to turn into vinegar.
That's right. At least it needs to be slow. And I think that I mean, for me, that pace of life is very much about what these spaces are for, so that you can go somewhere and you've come out of your own house and you can walk over there on a Sunday morning and do something in there, or have a cup of coffee and just look about or think about what you need to do.
Totally. I mean, I can imagine myself going out in the garden, going in the greenhouse with my wife, having a cup of coffee, showing her what I'm growing.
Exactly.
And I'm there, I just want to, I don't want my wife to go in a dirty greenhouse where she's going to dirty her dress or whatever she's wearing, And that for me is the added value that I'm going to get.
Yes.
I'm going to get something that's going to make me feel good every single day.
Yes.
That's going to add to my life.
That's right. And I think that's great. I really love that idea. And I love the idea that people do it for different reasons. And I think that, there are gardeners who already are at that place where gardening is what they want it for. But there's other people who want to be able to look out of the house, maybe even have a Christmas tree in it when we're coming up to Christmas tree and lighting it and see something from the house and think, oh, look at that. That's just lovely.
I think you're right, because the greenhouse is so beautiful. I mean, first of all, the main reason why I want it is I want to garden. Mm-hmm. But it has to be beautiful. But because it is beautiful, if I don't want to garden, I can just create a dining room there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I can just decorate it cleverly and smartly, very beautifully, and people would come and eat there and just have a good time. Yeah. And they can see my barbecue next door, and I can cook, and I can serve them a nice meal, open a bottle of wine, and can you imagine the setting? Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously you can, because you build them. Yeah. Yeah. But I just thought about it when I came in, and as you enter with that porch, it's like you are entering a very special residence.
Yes. Another residence in your garden.
In your garden, is true.
Yeah, for sure. Excellent. Been great chatting with you. Maybe we should take a wee look at the specification you might want in your building, and we'll pull it up.
I had a little favor to ask you.
Yeah.
I'd like a cock on my greenhouse, the French cock.
Just one.
Yeah, on the top, when something that can move with the wind,
yes.
To tell me where the wind is blowing from.
Yeah.
Could we organize that?
We'll have to look about that, yeah.
I've got a specific idea of what I want, though.
Yeah, let's keep it the same colour as the greenhouse.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Shall we have a look?
We'll do. Have a look, yeah.
Well, I want something natural to match the plants, but also, there's a lot of greenery, there's the woods behind the house, so I need something natural. I think either... Oh, you got the colours here.
Just a steer for now.
I think that.
Something like that. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I think so. You know what I like also is the way that you've decorated the greenhouse with the pots there, the bench.
Yes.
That gives me some good ideas.
And I know you're going for masonry base.
Yes.
And you are on the estate. These are three size options. So you're on the estate.
Okay.
And you're good. So add to cart. So now door openings. So do you want the door opening in?
Okay, so I just have to picture it, walking in. I think it's got to be right.
Yeah.
It's got to, that one.
Perfect.
I think I like individual openers rather than multi.
Yeah, that's good. So you've got 4 individual openers on your. Remember we looked at the orchid shelf?
Yeah.
It works for you?
Definitely.
On one end or
I think ends? On 1, 2, 3. On the 3.
The 3, you could only have the orchid shelf on either end.
Okay. Yeah, on both, definitely both ends. Yeah.
That's good.
So at the moment we have the 2 shelves at the top. Yeah.
Yes.
We have the bench on the side here, and we've got a bench here.
Yeah.
And we've got a bench in the middle.
Yes.
So there's 1, 2, 4 benches.
Job done.
Brilliant. What a great system.
That's all we need.